Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Aditya Gupta. I did my undergraduation from AIMS New Delhi. I'm a 2012 batch AIMS Union after securing All India rank 10 and All India rank 6 in AIPMT back in 2012. But in this video, I'll actually be talking about what are the bad sides of AIMS Delhi. Now, everyone even knows that AIMS Delhi is the best and it's the best college in the country. But for all the NEET UG aspirants who have just cleared, you should always remember that there is a dark side to every story. So I'm here, I'm the villain, and I'll tell you the dark side of the AIMS Delhi story. Having completed all the phases of my MBBS, now even post graduation, I'm currently doing my DM in fact, for that matter of fact. So let's begin. So there's some things that are bad, definitely bad about AIMS Delhi. The first and the foremost is there's no internal PG quota reservation. There's absolutely no reservation for any AIMSonians whatsoever. So let's assume you do your MBBS from VMMC or Delhi colleges, or for that matter even any state colleges. तुम्हें स्टेट में अपने पीजी के टाइम पे रिजर्वेशन मिलती है. 50% ऑफ द सीट्स आर रिजर्व फॉर द पीपल हु डिड देयर एमबीबीएस फ्रॉम दैट स्टेट. ऐसा एम्स में कुछ नहीं है. अगर मेरे को पीजी में रैंक लेकर मेरे को फिर से अपनी एक टॉप ब्रांच चाहिए पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में, आई अगेन हैव टू प्रूव माई मेटल. आई अगेन हैव टू गेट अ टॉप 10, टॉप 20, टॉप 100 रैंक in order to get that clinical branch that I so desire. And just because I'm in AIMS Delhi doesn't mean मेरे को दिल्ली कोटा मिल जाएगा. And just because you're in say AIMS जोधपुर और AIMS ऋषिकेश और whatever, तुम्हें वहाँ का उस स्टेट का कोटा मिल जाएगा, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. ऐसा सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट कुछ नहीं मिलता. And AIMS Delhi is very unlucky in this regard because this is not valid for JIPMER. JIPMER has a roster system जिसकी वजह से उनकी एक रिजर्वेशन है. AFMC has it. अपने आर्म फोर्सेस के ग्रेजुएट्स के लिए होता है. It's literally AIMS Delhi and AIMS colleges जिनमें अपना कुछ भी नहीं है खुद के लिए यार. So if you have things in mind, you should always keep this in future. We don't have any reservation for that matter of fact. Second, academics are amazing for first and second year. I can like literally write it down. First and second year के academics aim से कोई compare कर ही नहीं सकता. But I definitely believe the academics of the final year are much better for other colleges, especially MAMC. If you want to, I won't deny that. I'm truth be truth. Delhi colleges की third and fourth year के academics definitely थोड़ी better है AIMS Delhi से. But I'll come to this point a bit later कि why it doesn't really matter. But still, अगर if you were just going on to the points one, fourth one now. All of you have cleared your NEET UG examination. You're going to go into the colleges. See, we all are adolescents at this point of time, and sooner or later, we do want a life partner. AIMS Delhi has a terrible sex ratio. Now, it doesn't sound anything like that, but yeah, I do want to say is it's good to have a balanced sex ratio. AIMS Delhi has a sex ratio where there'll be 90 boys and 10 girls, and it's not good for anyone for that matter of fact. There should always be a balanced sex ratio. Apart from the romantic aspect as well, in general there should be a balanced sex ratio. AIMS Delhi has a terrible sex ratio irrespective. Fifth, now, nobody wants to point this out, but during my time there was an immense ragging. बहुत ragging होती थी as compared to any other college at that point of the country. Even right now, there will be some or the other form of. There's no ragging. Actually, ragging has dramatically decreased. अब AIMS में ragging कुछ नहीं होती. But still, if few colleges in the country still there's some amount of ragging that's going on, it's still AIMS Delhi. Next, drugs. Now, this is problem that is prevalent in all medical colleges now, but I'll still say AIMS again. This is valid for actually every medical college that you might go. There will be a problem of drugs. It's valid for actually every college of our country right now. Having said that, just because you're in AIMS Delhi does not make you immune to that. It is not something which is peculiar to AIMS Delhi. But just because you think कि तुम AIMS Delhi में आ गए हो यहाँ पे वो problem नहीं होगी, you're buddy, you're wrong. ठीक है. Last, you're away from home. Like for as compared to let's say Delhi, apart from the people who are literally Delhiites or people who are staying in NCR, everyone else you'll be away from your home. Yeah, I mean, home is a great feeling. Home is the best after all. So you will miss home. You will get homesick if you're AIMS Delhi. Versus if you choose a college that's closer to your home or in your own city as well. For a person who's in Bangalore, he's getting a Bangalore college. Coming to AIMS Delhi will not be a small decision. You have to learn Hindi if you want to interact with patients. For anyone from down south, away from home is going to be a bigger factor. In fact, 3 people in my batch, not 3 actually for the matter, 4 people in my batch did not choose AIMS Delhi. They chose JIPMER instead, or they chose other colleges instead, colleges in Mumbai for that matter instead. Because this was a bigger factor, you should always keep this in mind. That is the reason why all not top 50 ranker, there will be 1 or 2 students who will not be choosing AIMS Delhi. I think the biggest factor that is the being away from home. Yaar. You have to be in Delhi, you have to learn Hindi. Hindi समझ में आनी चाहिए. Politics. Now, AIMS being the center is not just AIMS Delhi, it's literally the center of the entire medical universe that in India. And there's a lot of politics, and you will get involved in politics. And there will be a lot of controversies. We literally recently saw with that Ramlila incident. Next, it's in Delhi, it's going to be expensive. So it's going to be really, really heavy on your pockets. let's say you are eating out in Bangalore, or let's say you're eating out in Jaipur, cost will be like 400 or 500 rupees per two people if you're going out. Not the case in Delhi. यहाँ पे अगर एक बार बाहर जाओगे आराम से 1,000 से 2,000 रुपए का चूना लगेगा तुम लोगों को, एटलीस्ट 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. And last, since it's very competitive, a lot of people are there, it's extremely competitive. I had no friends in my first year. I literally had no friends in my first year. All of my friends that I had were there in Mamsi. I'm from Delhi, so मेरे जितने भी दोस्त थे, they all got selected in Mamsi. I was the only one who got selected in AIIMS Delhi, and I thought, okay, ठीक है, AIIMS Delhi obviously it's the best, मेरे को choose करना ही है. But I felt extremely lonely during my first year. And friendship as a concept, AIIMS में you're lucky if you do end up finding friends. And if you want to know about what the really bad and the dark side of AIIMS, do watch Placebo. It's a movie there on YouTube, or there was at a point of time it was there in Netflix. अगर तुम्हें एक्चुअली में जाना है एम्स की एक्चुअल डार्क साइड क्या है, डू वॉच प्लेसिबो. Having said that, still AIIMS Delhi is the best. If we're given a choice, even 10 years down the line, if I have to choose a college, I'll choose AIIMS Delhi. There's absolutely no doubt about that, despite all its bad effects. AIIMS is the best. Why? You get your fucking degree from the health minister. If you get a prize, you get it from the prime minister. I got my biochemistry gold medal from Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself. I got my degree from JP Nadda himself. I got my medal from Harshvardhan himself. Which other college will promise you that? Next, if your goal is US, it's the best college. Why? Because tremendous exposure. You get to go to multiple universities, either on your own, or sometimes even AIIMS sponsors it. I went for a research elective in Hopkins. That's a picture from Hopkins. That's a picture from Hopkins when I'm standing outside the Hopkins. I went for a 2 month research elective in Hopkins. I got the best research opportunities. You can present multiple posters, your publication can be published, and administration is also not that anti USMLE or something like that. Your college studies are oriented in a USMLE base. If your goal is to go to US, AIIMS Delhi is the best college. There's no doubt about that. That's the reason like 70 to 80% of our batchmates at a time in 1980s, 90s and early 2000 used to go to US. Third, research. The reason I chose this paper that I recently published, this paper was just published 1 month, like 20 days ago. I'm the third author, I'm not the first author. Allogenic hematopoietic stem cell transplant after COVID infection and its effect on the antibody titers. It was published in a really prestigious journal, Pediatric Transplantation. It is the official journal of the Pediatric Transplant Society of the world. So the reason I wanted to highlight that was the kind of research. It's not that research cannot be done in other places. The kind of research you do in AIIMS Delhi is absolutely not possible in many colleges of the country. We have a transplant unit. We are doing hematopoietic bone marrow transplant or hematopoietic stem cell transplant. How many colleges in this country can say they are doing hematopoietic stem cell transplant? MAMC में नहीं होता, RML में नहीं होता. For that matter, FMC में yes होता है, जिपमर में होता है. So basically in the central, so any government colleges, SMS जयपुर में नहीं होता, GMC चंडीगढ़ में नहीं होता, IGMS शिमला में नहीं होता, KGMC में नहीं होता. So these colleges might be really good for your exposure and anything, but the kind of exposure and the kind of research you get to do at AIIMS Delhi, unmatched. If you're interested in AIIMS research, AIIMS Delhi, there's absolutely no doubt about that. You have to come to AIIMS Delhi. Next part that I'm going to emphasize, the biggest reason you should go for AIIMS Delhi is the freedom and the hostel life here. I was a Delhiite. Still, I chose to stay in hostels because of immense amount of freedom. There is no curfew. You can go at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the night to the best hotels in the Taj or ITC Maurya or Sheraton or for that matter, anything for that matter of fact, Hyatt. Nobody's going to say us bad an eye. The hostels are co-ed. Girls are allowed to come in the boys' hostel. Boys are allowed to go into the girls' hostel. Anytime. There are people who have actually moved in together in the boys' hostel for that matter of fact. And the fees are really low. It's just 5,000 rupees. Other government colleges may charge you 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees per annum, but AIIMS Delhi is just 5,000 rupees, not per annum, for 5 years. And you're allowed to make any modification to your room. So this is my room from undergraduate. I had a AC, I had a fridge, I had a microwave, I had modified it according to my room and everything. And this is not just for the UG aspect, this is for the PG aspect. PG, I went a step further. I had my own TV and I had my own, music system along with, modifying my room according to my own taste. And at the same point of time, if you're interested in, sports and everything, be it gymnasium, be it badminton, be it basketball, be it swimming or anything, every form of sport is available at AIIMS New Delhi. And at the point of time, it's in Delhi. So I told you, Delhi is a bit expensive. Having said that, if you are a foodie, there's no better place to be except Delhi. The best possible places, be whatever your food taste is, whatever you want to go for a movie or not, although COVID की वजह से काफ़ी कम हो गया है. The kind of exposure that you get in Delhi is immense. This is valid for any Delhi colleges, and that's the reason why the Delhi college should be preferred over peripheral aims, because the exposure that you get in Delhi. Now, I got a lot of you might know about Siddharth Mukherjee. He's the one who wrote Emperor of All Maladies. I got a personal signed book by Siddharth Mukherjee. I went to a talk. The reason I was able to attend this talk was because it was held in close to AIIMS Delhi in Delhi. Other people from Delhi could have come, but अगर तुम ऋषिकेश या जोधपुर में होते, see, people of international repute are not going to come to AIIMS Rishikesh or Jodhpur or Jaipur. They'll come to Delhi or Bombay. They won't go to other places like that. So in that scenario, being in Delhi itself is a huge advantage that being in AIIMS Delhi gets you. And late night drives, freedom. This is a 3 a.m. photograph when I went with one of my friends to Murthal. Just like that. So this kind of, the balance between, your work, your life and everything is possible only in AIIMS Delhi. Next, light internship. Now, I told you that we do not have any internal PG quota or anything for that matter of fact. Having said that, I myself cracked in the second attempt itself. June, क्या कहते हैं, November में exam होता है, cracked it in May. I had depression, but most of my batchmates were able to crack in the first attempt in November itself. Again, back in AIIMS Delhi. Archana Sasi, she got rank 1 in AIIMS UG and AIIMS PG both. Why? Because we have a light internship. We are motivated throughout. And that results in getting us back into AIIMS Delhi. So while we do not have an internal PG quota, that does not mean we do not get into AIIMS or PG and the other institutes of repute for our post-graduation. Next one, amazing MLI and no senior junior hierarchy. This person that here, he's Maharaj. He's my 5 years senior. He's 2007 batch. But still, I can just talk to him and tell him he's currently in Chandigarh. Ki aaj raat ko free okay. I'm coming there to Chandigarh with Shatabdi. And he comes to pick me up. Which college can boast of the fact that you're so much interactive with your seniors? हर कॉलेज में बॉस बोलने का, सर बोलने का ट्रेंड होता है. उनका निकनेम था महाराज. मैं आज भी उनको महाराज करके बुलाता हूँ. Similarly, Bagga. He went to US, he himself sent me his number, and he called himself by the name Bagga. I still call him Bagga for that matter of fact. Don't call him sir, I don't call him boss. He's Bagga for me. He's 4 years seniors to me, but that doesn't matter to me. That's how closely knit community AIIMS gets. I did not have friends in first year, but after a period of time, when the senior junior hierarchy is not there, you end up making the best friends possible. This will be valid for other colleges as well. But the senior junior hierarchy that is absent in AIIMS is not there in any other college. I do not call my seniors sir. I do not call my seniors boss. Neither do my juniors call me senior, sir or boss. They call me by name. They call me Gupta for that matter of fact. Aman Tilak, Aryan Raj Singh, you might be knowing about these guys. जब वो मुझसे मिलते हैं तो मेरे को कहते हैं और गुप्ता जी क्या हाल? Something like that. This form of thing is absolutely absent in any other colleges of this country. Next, extra co-curriculars. Now, this is one thing I wanted to emphasize upon. Again, because of being in Delhi and because of being in AIIMS, I participated in multiple debates, quiz competition, jam. Pulse used to be the huge thing. Again, khatam ho gayi because of COVID, but it will come back and will bounce back in a way. Because of Pulse, I met Salim Suleiman, I met Mohit Chauhan, I met Palas Sen. Now, these things which you can imagine, this kind of, full life, the entire spectrum that you can experience in that 5.5 years of MBBS that you have is only possible in AIIMS Delhi. And basically, the entire thing I want to emphasize upon, that maybe there are certain disadvantages of being in AIIMS Delhi, but the advantages are so huge. If you're getting AIIMS Delhi, don't leave it. Be it UG, PG or DM. Thank you and have a nice day.